Hey everyone, this is Console Crapshoot, where we usually spin a wheel to play a random video game on original hardware. We just finished episode 100, and that means it's time for another tier list. Every 20 episodes, we add the last 20 episodes we did to the tier list. Kind of see where they all land in an overall ranking. It's kind of fun, and then we look at some statistics for the whole history of the show. It's pretty fun if you're a big nerd. So first thing before we get started, actually, we may have made a little bit of a mistake last tier list. And by we, I mean probably me, but that's not that important. I accidentally put Daxter up here on the 4s. And Daxter was a 3. I want to put it on it's a high 3, right between Star Wars Racer Revenge and Time Stalkers. So, okay, with that said, let's get on to episode 81. Episode 81, we played Jet Set Radio Future for the Xbox, the original Xbox. I love this game. It's really good. I gave it a 4. It had some faults. It wasn't quite at that masterpiece level. Where do I want to put that? I think Jet Set Radio 4 better than is it better than Conker's Bad Fur Day? Yeah, Conker's is funny. No, I'm gonna put Conker's Bad Fur Day ahead of it. I'm gonna put it between Conker and Sega All-Stars Racing on the Wii. All right, next one. This was controversial, at least to me. I caused controversy with myself because we played Mortal Kombat 2 for the 32X for episode 82. In my mind, in the history of gaming, in my history of my favorite games, Mortal Kombat 2 is a 5, but having played it again for an extended period of time, I don't know if it holds up quite as well as like a Street Fighter 2. It's still amazing. I love Mortal Kombat 2, especially this 32X version is really good. I think high 4. Is it better than Puppeteer for the PlayStation 3? Yeah, I'm gonna say no on that. I'm gonna put it between that and Psychonauts on the Xbox. Episode 83, we played The Adventure of Link on the Nintendo Entertainment System. This game gets a bad rap. It's hard. It's really, really difficult, so I get that, and it's not very user-friendly. It's not self-explanatory what you have to do a lot of times, but just judging it as an NES game and not a Zelda game, it's a good game. I'm gonna say high 3 here. Is better than Sonic Shuffle. Vigilante 8. No, you know what? It's gonna have to go down. I think Zelda 2 is better than Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on the Game Boy Advance and right under Sonic Shuffle. Sonic Shuffle's goofy, but it's fun. Next up on episode 84, we played Racketeer on the Xbox 360, and this was a Kinect game, and I love this game. It's got a lot of faults. It's limited, it's a Kinect game, but I had friends over. We had a blast with it. It was a good time. High 3 for me. I'm gonna say, more fun than Zelda 2. But I wouldn't give it as good of a game as Zelda 2. I think it's better than Ready to Rumble Boxing 2, right under Tokyo Xanadu. Yeah, that feels good to me. Next up was episode 85, the Daedalus Encounter for the 3DO, starring Tia Carrere. Bad acting, not by Tia Carrere though. Tia Carrere was pretty good, considering what this is. As far as live action, acted out CD games, this was pretty good. I gave it a 2 out of 5, but a high 2 out of 5 because it had a lot of imagination and it was interesting, at least. I would say that this is better than Spider-Man Web of Fire, better than Mad Maestro, right under Beavis and Butthead on the Genesis. Yeah, that's good to me. How are we doing so far? Quarter of the way there. So South Park on the N64 was episode 86. Not the worst game ever, not great, just kind of rushed out licensed nonsense. This one was pretty crap to me. I would say it's better though than Royal Rumble on the Genesis, but not as good as Riot Zone on the TurboGrafx CD. Yeah, I like South Park, but this isn't a good use of it. It was pretty weak, but the episode I got to tell a story about when I went to Casa Bonita, so that was fun. Episode 87, here's another one, just like Mortal Kombat 2 that, in my history of my favorite games, this is like way up there, but I couldn't give it a 5 because it didn't hold up as well. For the N64, again, this was Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Absolutely love this game. It's amazing, but like, is it a masterpiece? The sequel was. I can tell you that much. Spoiler alert if we ever get to play it, but I just don't think it holds up as well. But that said, I think better than Mortal Kombat 2. I'm gonna even put it above Puppeteer as our highest 4 out of 5. I think I feel good about that. It's just shy of the 5 out of 5. What's next? Man, we're running out of room here. I gotta like scroll down and get, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix on the Xbox 360. That was episode 88, and I gave that a 5 out of 5. I know that might sound nutty, after what I just said about Star Wars Rogue Squadron, but I explained it in the episode. I played this with some friends nonstop, and I got those same friends together for this episode. I wouldn't put it up as a high 5 out of 5, but it counts as a masterpiece to me. It's like one of the best puzzle games ever. Is it better than Grand Theft Auto 3 though? It's definitely more playable nowadays. You can pick up Puzzle Fighter and it's the same fun. Grand Theft Auto 3, it's very janky. But no, I'm gonna put it as the lowest 5 because Grand Theft Auto 3 is Grand Theft Auto 3. I gotta give it a little respect here. Even though it is a 5 out of 5, I gotta give it more credit. Episode 89 was Micro Machines on the Philips CDI. This is actually a good game on other systems. This is a port to the quote-unquote more advanced system, the CDI, but it's garbage. Imagine playing a grainy, slow version of a Genesis game with a DVD remote. That's what this is. So, the game is good, but we're playing it on the CDI, and it's absolute trash. I'm gonna say it's between Brain Dead 13, definitely better than this. You know what? I'm gonna put it between Highlander, Last of the McClouds for the Jaguar CD, and Brain Dead 13, also on the Jaguar CD. Break those guys up a little bit. It was just all Jaguar all in a row there. We need to separate those guys. But yeah, that game was a piece of shit. Episode 90 was Microsoft Flight Simulator for the Quest. I played it on the Quest 3 with the aid of my PC. Is it technically a PC game? Yeah, maybe, but I made Quest its own console on the wheel because it's interesting. Microsoft Flight Simulator, it was still full of bugs at the time of playing it, but it's just so impressive. Just sheer technology that's involved in that game. You can just take any plane you want and take it anywhere in the planet, and it's the actual planet, and it's the actual weather effects, and all satellite imagery. It's amazing. I gave it a high 4. Is it better than Mortal Kombat 2? Man, that's tough because Mortal Kombat 2 is a classic, but this is so much more impressive than Mortal Kombat 2. But no. Is it better than Psychonauts? Man, that's tough. Yeah, I'm going to give Psychonauts the edge. I'm going to put it between Psychonauts and Hydro Thunder on the Dreamcast. I think that's a good place for Flight Sim 2024. Episode 91 was Super Skateboarding on the Atari 7800. Look, we've played 2 previous Atari games. They were 5200 games, and I gave them both 4s, actually. They both happen to be really good games. This not so great. The music will drive you crazy after a couple minutes. The gameplay is engaging, though. It's something. It's not piss poor. I think it would have got a higher score if it came out at the height of Atari games before the NES came out. But this game came out actually in 1988. A lot of 7800 games were late bloomers there. And for that reason, it was just kind of trash at that point. Kind of a lazy release, but it's got decent gameplay. Super Skateboarding, let's see. I gave it a high 2. Is it better than Spider-Man Web of Fire? Yeah. No. I'm going to put Super Skateboarding between Spider-Man Web of Fire on the 32X and Captain Silver on the Master System. That's where that's going to go. Okay, let's see. Episode 92 was Indiana Jones's Greatest Adventures. That was on the Super Nintendo. What did I give that? That I gave a 4. I remember that being a solid 4, right? Didn't light my dick on fire, but it was a decent game. It was well made. It felt like a Super Nintendo game, like a hella Super Nintendo game. Had all the hallmark graphics and sound. Yeah, it was really fun. And Last Crusade is the best. Where does this go? Indiana Jones and the Indiana Jones Greatest Adventures. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, I think Spyro the Dragon 3, Year of the Dragon is better. I'm gonna put it between Spyro on the PS1 and King of the Fighters 2000 on the Neo Geo. I think that's where Indy's gonna be. Episode 93 was Project Horned Owl on the PlayStation 1. I gave that a 3. It was a light gun game. I didn't have a light gun. Well, I didn't have a CRT at the time. Spoilers. There's something coming pretty soon. But I did have a PlayStation 1 mouse, so that made it a little less painful than using a controller. Quick, short, fun, to the point. Not much to it, but good light gun game. I'm gonna say I gave this a 3. Project Horned Owl, I'd say, is better than Sky Target on the Saturn, better than you know what? Yes, between Sky Target and Freaky Flyers on the Xbox. I think that's where it belongs. Yeah, sounds good. Episode 94 was Machine Head on the Sega Saturn. Completely wacky story. It was insane. Gameplay, not so great. Big game, a lot going on. Graphically, Lunacy on the Sega Saturn was so much more interesting and fun to me. This gameplay is a little better, but I'm gonna have to give it to Lunacy because it was the title of Lunacy was so accurate. I'm gonna put that between that and Gods on the Genesis. And then episode 95, we played Siphon Filter on the PS1. Siphon Filter I gave a 4. Doesn't hold up quite as well, but I love tasing people in the balls, and Siphon Filter's got that, in spades. Yeah, Siphon Filter, let's see. Siphon Filter's a good game. And, it's a great game. That's why it's a 4 out of 5, but you gotta put it's better than Bass Fishing, better than a lot of these. Siphon Filter, better than Spyro. Yeah, I can't see putting Siphon Filter above Jet Set Radio Future, so I'm going to put it right between that and Sonic All-Stars Racing on the Wii. And then we got the dreaded Game Boy game for episode 96. I didn't want to play an old school Game Boy game. I avoided it for a while, but we played Nintendo World Cup. That was a 3 out of 5. Kind of the same world as the Dodgeball, the Super Dodgeball games on the system. Same look to the characters. This game is pretty functional for what it is. It's pretty good, which is more than I can say about a lot of these. That said, though, I don't know if it's not better than Sky Target, Horned Owl, Steam Hearts, which is basically a porn. Lunacy, it's more fun than Lunacy. It's a more fun game, but Lunacy is great. Yeah, I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna put it between Lunacy and Steam Hearts. We had 3 Saturn games block in a row there, so let's break that up. And the next one was episode 97, Alien vs. Predator on the Atari Jaguar. Not the Atari Jaguar, it's the Jaguar, so say it right. And I actually gave that a 3, low 3. I hate Jaguar, can't stand Jaguar games. This game controls and plays really bad, but it was really innovative, and there's a good game in there if you can get around using the controller. But for me, it's still a low 3. It counts as good or fine, but I'm gonna have to put it between the Death of Superman on the Genesis and Jeopardy on the Sega CD. Like, it's a level 2 out of 5 in a lot of ways, but it just has so much interesting stuff going for it that it needed a little bump. It didn't deserve that too. Almost done here. We are at episode 98. We played Who Wants to Beat Up a Millionaire on the Dreamcast. Gave us a chance to air out a little social commentary on billionaires. This was a 2 out of 5. It was pretty basic. It was pretty boring. Kind of a joke of a game. Literally, it's a parody game, but just not great. Yeah, I'm going to put it between Snake's Revenge on the NES and Iron Man, XO, Manowar, and Heavy Metal on the Saturn. It's just kind of a low mid 2. Not fun. This is an interesting one. Episode 99, It Came from the Desert on the TurboGrafx CD. Another live action rendered game. The gameplay, not so great. The acting, absolutely horrendous. The personality, though, of this game, 5 out of 5. Awesome B-movie quality. It deserved, not to be a 1. I'd go as far as to say it's a high 2. Here's a good question. Is it better than the Daedalus Encounter? The Daedalus Encounter is probably a better game. It's got more personality, and I said the Daedalus Encounter actually had some personality. That's one of the things I liked about it. This one had more personality, but the gameplay's so bad. I'm gonna put it above Mad Maestro, I think. No, you know what? Mad Maestro's a pretty tight game. The controls are weak. Yeah, I'm gonna put it between Mad Maestro on the PS2 and Spider-Man on the 32X. And finally, let's see, we are at episode 100, and that was a viewer submission episode. Everyone got to put their own ideas on the wheel. We spun a wheel of all the regular viewers, and we picked Capital G's game, and he wanted to play Knuckles in Sonic 2. It's basically Sonic 2, but with the Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, put on the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, where it upgrades the game and makes Knuckles the main character of Sonic 2. Technically, incredibly impressive. Basically, though, we are ranking Sonic 2. So for that reason, I gave it a 5. Sonic 2, yeah, I'm gonna have to drop it there between Fable 2 and Star Control 2. I love Star Control 2, something I discovered on this show for the 3DO. Sonic 2 is an all-timer, and for the record, if we actually played the regular Sonic 2, I would put it just a hair above this because it is slightly better having Sonic and Tails, over Knuckles. But it's still, at its core, it's still Sonic 2. It's an amazing game. I'm going to put it all the way up there as our third best game we've played on the show. So here's our list. We've got 100 games on our tier list now. I feel pretty good about this. I don't think we made any mistakes this time. We did the last two. This feels pretty good to me. I think we can go over to some statistics again. And I was too busy. Last time, another viewer of the show, Snowgimp, made us some graphics for the statistics, and I was too busy to even ask him if we could do it. But I wanted to get this tier list out to everybody, so let's switch over to some statistics here. 1995 has really pulled ahead with 11 games, taking the lead for the year. The games that we've played, 1995 was the year we played the most games from. We played 11 of those, 8 from the year 2000, tied with 1994, and also at 8. And let's see, the rankings. For a long time, the 2s were way ahead, and now the 2s are way behind. So we have ranked 33 out of 5s, 26 4 out of 5s, and the 2s slipped back to 22 of those. So that's good. I guess the quality of the games we've been playing, we've been getting more lucky as the show went on. You could pretty much predict, without playing all these games, that 3 would eventually take the lead because 3 is average, right? So that makes sense. But I am surprised we've played more 4s than 2s, and I'm also grateful for that. And here's a big one. I like this stat, and I think it's the same results as last tier list, except the numbers have gone up just a little bit. But it's the Saturn, the Dreamcast, and the Genesis, all Sega systems, tied for first place with 7 games each. Trailing right behind is the N64 with 6 games and the original Xbox with 5. But Sega, really, really huge on this list. We've been getting a lot of Sega just dominating. But I'm pretty sure the last tier list was the same 3 leaders tied. So that's pretty funny. And this is kind of an eyeful, but I kind of made this formula here. I just wanted to see, games that, systems that we've played 4 times or more are highlighted in green here. And I just wanted to see the average score for some of those. It looks like the highest, Xbox 360 has a 4.5 as the average score. Mostly that's because I don't have every Xbox 360 game ever made quite yet. It's just all the ones that I bought at the time. So these are games that I wanted. So you figure the scores would be high like that. But also same era, PS3, even though we didn't play it 4 times, we played it twice between episodes 1 and 100, spoiler alert. And that average score is 4.5. We had 1.4 and 1.5. Let's go up here. Dreamcast, average score 3.4, Genesis 3.1, N64 3.5, higher than I expected for the N64, but we had Mario 64 in there. 3.2 NES, PS1 3, PS2 3.25. Quest is high, but again, games I purchased because I like them. Saturn though, pretty low, 2.8. SNES 2.25. Had a lot of bad SNES games up until Indiana Jones. Xbox 3.2, so pretty interesting. I have to say, Atari 5200 here with an average score of 4, like I was saying earlier. That's pretty impressive and unexpected. But that's it for this tier list. Again, I've been really busy. I apologize. We're not able to get episodes out every week anymore. And I accidentally bricked a system that we were supposed to play for episode 102. So it's taking extra long, but I fixed it. And that game is being played right now. And I hope to have it out next week. If not, you know that I was legit busy because I want to get it out. I love doing these. And I love that so many people are watching and enjoying them. So that's really cool. Can't wait for the next episode. Can't wait for the next tier list. Episode 1 after episode 120. It'll take a little longer to get there this time, but we'll get there. I appreciate everybody watching and hanging out, and I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Cheers, everyone. See you soon.